what's up? Welcome to my podcast. This is Sunny Fonseca with Mortgages with Sunny. I have Kevin here today, my producer. What's up, Kevin? How are you?
What's up?
How are you?
Good.
Today we're going to talk about how to purchase a home while you're in college. So tune in, welcome. Kevin has some questions here today. So we're going to kind of talk about that.
Yeah, because this is something that I think we saw on Instagram. Well, we actually were talking about this.
Yes.
And then later
popped
saw
up.
somebody posted on Instagram the same thing. So we figured it's an interesting topic. Let's do a podcast episode for it.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how your phone listens to you, right? Your
Yeah.
phone, and all of a sudden you have all these feeds of what you were talking about. Like, I was just talking about that.
Yeah, it's Alexa telling everything. Yeah, so I think this is an interesting thing to talk about because I don't think it's something that just the average person even thinks about doing. But it's a really good investment and something to kind of set your kid up for the future.
Definitely.
Also. So I guess we'll just start with what exactly is the purpose, right? Let's explain, I guess, what the reasoning for buying a home for your child in college is.
So the goal is to, instead of your kids like buying a car or buying them or renting out their apartment for when they go to college, because I'm pretty sure a lot of parents co-sign for their kids going off to college for their apartment to live there for housing
or room and board,
right?
At the college campus.
Yeah, and by the time you do a first and last month and security deposit, there is your down payment right there, right?
Right.
So why not buy your kid a home? Now, the benefit here is if your son or daughter goes to college in Tallahassee and you live in Miami, your college student, which is your son or daughter, can go on the loan as a primary owner, even if they don't have income. As long as your income as a parent suffices to handle the debt, your son or daughter can be on the loan as a primary, and you can co-sign for your child with a down payment of 3.5% or 3%.
Yeah, which is important because most kids, when they're going to college, don't have a job.
No.
At least not right away, especially if they're going somewhere away from home where they're going to need to live on campus. Right. They usually don't go into there with a job. So that helps as far as being a college student with no income, how you can still own a home. Yeah.
So if for example, my son goes off to college, I'm not co-signing for an apartment for him. I'm going to make sure he buys that house. Yeah. I will help him co-sign for that. I will also gift him the down payment for it. He could live in it, and then he can go ahead and rent out room number 1 or 2, and he pays his own mortgage payment like that.
Right. So the parent can co-sign for the loan,
correct,
which will help the student qualify and get approved and all those things going forward.
Yeah. As long as the parent has the credit to suffice for it, or the down payment and the income to suffice for it, why not? Take advantage of that. Go ahead. And then like this, your child builds responsibilities. It's theirs. They can go ahead and rent out, learn how to use that income, learn how to do something with it. And the year once they graduate, you can go ahead and buy another home like that. The kid has built their credit. They've built their housing history. And that's it. By the time they're done with college or whatever, who knows? They might have been able to pay it off and rent it out. So it's key factor. It's so important. Use the money wisely.
Yeah. So it's not just a monetary investment. It's also an investment in your child's future.
Correct. Yeah. Or your grandkids, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah.
So what type of properties, because you mentioned, renting out bedrooms. So obviously, a 1-bedroom condo wouldn't be ideal for that situation. What type of properties do you think that parents should be looking at if they are considering buying their child a home for college?
Great question. So definitely, like I always say, condos is a huge no-no. You want to stay away with it. Plus, condos have an association fees. Like, it's through the roof sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So why not buy your kid a home, a single family home, 2 to 3 bedrooms, And like this, it's their own frat house or sorority house at that point, right?
Right.
Rent it out and do what you have to do. Like this, you have a home. And who knows, in the next 5 to 10 years, that same home, you bought it probably for 300,000, maybe 500,000. You'll build equity on it. And there goes your child's whatever student loans your child has taken out, you can go ahead and pay that off, or whatever the case is after selling that property in the future.
Right. What about like a duplex or something? Do you think that would be also beneficial?
Yes.
Or? Yeah.
Yes.
For the same reasons.
Yes. Duplex. Now, you can also purchase a duplex with an FHA loan as low as 3.5%. Your child could live in one unit and you can rent out the other, right? It's great. It is a great thing. But depending on how much the rental is on a duplex, right?
Right.
Is it worth it? Sometimes duplexes cost a little bit more than a single family home. When in college, all you got to do is rent out the rooms, right?
Yeah.
But in a duplex, is somebody in college really going to pay that much amount of rent in a duplex? It is a very great idea. Yes, buy it, but it's not a must. Start off with just a single family home or a townhome, you know? But it's there. The option is always there.
Yeah. And how long would they have to live in that home specifically?
So as long as within a year, as long as they have lived there in a year, and they could always go ahead, rent it out, and then go buy a bigger home, okay? With a conventional loan or an probably if you currently have an FHA, you can't get another FHA, but you could get a conventional loan to purchase another home. What if the kid gets married or whatever the case is? They always have the option there.
Okay. So now let's say, you go and you're looking to buy another home, but let's say, I've been renting out the rooms to this place. I got a 3-bedroom. I'm renting out 2 other rooms, but I'm still not working. I still don't have a job. Can I use that rent that they're paying me? Can I use that as income?
Yes, absolutely. So there's 2 ways of using that income, right? Either you file it on your taxes and you have to have a 2-year history, or what you can do is say, it's called a permanent resident exit. So what that means is, hey, I'm purchasing another home. I'm going to rent out this house, right? Mm-hmm. So what that does is say, let's say your monthly mortgage payment on that current home is $3,000 and you're going to rent out that house for $3,500. What you're allowed to do is eliminate that as that monthly debt that's a burden on your credit report.
Okay.
So it washes that out. But if you have filed taxes for it, you can use that as income.
Got it. Okay. So
there's two different ways on that. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I know employment history obviously is important, but like we talked about, college student, some of them, depending on the degrees, you can't even work sometimes. So, let's say what type of employment history would be needed to show?
Well, let me tell you, if I'm paying for my kid to go to college, he better have a job in the next 5 years. If not, I just put my money down the drain. And what did you study for? That's not happening. But the benefit here is you have to have a 2-year history. So, for example, if you've graduated the year before and now you started your job, the school suffices for your 2-year history. But let's say you graduated 5 years ago and now you start working, at that point you do need to have a 2-year history of work.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tomorrow my kid graduates and he starts a job in his industry, the school can suffice for that 2-year history.
Gotcha.
But if he waits 5 years, then he would have to provide a 2-year history on that.
Right. Okay. And I know for FHA, you mentioned 3.5% down payment.
Yeah.
If you were to go conventional, what are you looking at for a down payment?
So if your child is purchasing it, like I said, as long as your child is on it and they're using it for them to live in, mm-hmm. and you're just co-signing, also too, you can qualify for a conventional loan with a 3% down payment as a first-time home buyer.
Okay.
Yeah. So conventional and FHA are great options. They're definitely good. They're both great. Is just at the moment, it has to make sense for you. Don't be intimidated. Get into an FHA loan. If you don't qualify for a conventional loan, get an FHA. You can always refinance in the future.
Right. And the down payment can be gifted as well from your parent or...
Yes, you can gift it. Mom, dad, brother, sister, anybody can gift that money to you to purchase that home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, it's something that, like I said, I don't think a lot of people even consider the option because it's just not something that people think about even, and it makes more sense to buy a home than paying, like you said, paying somebody else's mortgage, paying their rent for your son or daughter to live, off campus or even living on campus and having to pay room and board.
Yeah.
Might
as well buy it for them and co-sign for them, and they rent out the rooms, and that takes care of their monthly mortgage payment. Right. And that's so important. Like, a lot of people don't understand, like, every time, instead of opening a savings account for your kids or something like that, try to get a home for each kid that you have in that house. Get a home for each child you have. Mm-hmm. In the future, when they are off to college, you can either sell it, rent it out, or cash out on the equity on that property.
Yeah.
So like this, you don't have to invest or open that savings account. You've probably made double the money on purchasing a house for your child when they're born than the money sitting on a savings account.
Right.
So it's instead of investing in other things, invest in buying a house. So important for your child.
Yeah. All right. I think
my parents didn't think of that.
Mine either.
I know, right?
Maybe they did. Maybe I just didn't deserve it. That's all I have. If you have anything you think I missed or any final tips or advice you think would be good for maybe a parent who's considering it, or maybe they heard this and now they think, it's something that they should look into?
No, definitely. You did. You had very valid questions. And I think a lot of it is to educate the consumer out there and how to utilize the loan products that are out there. Co-signing for your child, it's okay. And don't be intimidated to get pre-qualified. And like this, also, it builds your child's credit. It builds your child's housing history. And you don't have to have a perfect credit. We do FHAs at 580 or above. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, go for it.
Right.
Yes. Oh, I have people call me and they're like, oh, but the interest rates are so high and my credit score's not all that good. No, but that house where your child's going to go to college at is $200,000. What difference does it make? The amount of money you're going to go ahead and give them to get first, last security, put that down payment.
Yeah.
And later in the future, you can refinance it, you know? Right. So definitely utilize the option loan products that are out there. It is so important to take advantage of these and build your history, build your portfolio for you and your child. So Kevin, thank you so much for these questions and always coming through.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Guys, if you have any more questions, please feel free to give me a call, link in bio, and hope you get great knowledge from this.